All right, good morning. Welcome to the discussion on the rich man and Lazarus as seen in Luke chapter 16 from verse 19 downwards. As we read through, you will discover that it's not a real thing or a real story that happened. It was a parable. You would see that. But let me just brief this to us. The rich man represented the Jews. The Lazarus represented the Gentiles. Lazarus was a name gotten from the name Eliezer, the servant of Abraham. Though he was not the son, he was in control of all that Abraham had. Okay, you discover that the term son in this parable, and as at the time Jesus was speaking, referred to Israel. The prophecy which says that out of Egypt have I called my son, primarily referred to Israel and ultimately referred to Jesus. So you will discover that the Bible makes us to understand that unto Israel was, commissioned the whole oracles of God. You see that in Hebrews chapter 5. Okay, Hebrews chapter 5. Unto them were first commissioned the oracles of God. Okay, and then you see Hebrews chapter 6 saying that therefore living the principles of the doctrines of Christ. Okay, you discover that what is talking about oracles is, as according to chapter 5 verse 12 is, let me read that. It said, for when the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one should teach you again, which being the first principles of the oracles of God, and are become such as have need of milk and not of strong drink. So you discover that if you read that chapter, what is referring to as the first oracles of God is the law. Is the law. So it is unto the Jews it was given, and that's why they were rich. Okay, that's why they were rich. You discover that Jesus was saying that it is not right to be rich in terms of the things of this world, but not be rich unto God. So what happened was, when you read the parable of the rich man and Lazarus, you have to understand that it was a parable of the kingdom. Every parable that Jesus spoke was a parable of the kingdom. And you discover that Jesus was speaking about the arrival of a kingdom and the fact that a kingdom will be destroyed. And that is why if you look through that parable, you will begin to see the beauty that is embedded in that parable as per the shift of positioning of God as it is from the kingdom of the law to the kingdom of grace that made we Gentiles accepted in the beloved, that made us sons. So let me read through and point your attention to some things. Luke chapter 16 verse 19. There was a certain rich man clothed in purple and fine linen and fed sumptuously every day, and there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which was laid at his gate full of sores, desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores. And it came to pass that the beggar died and was carried by angels into Abraham's bosom. Okay, Eliezer should not be in Abraham's bosom because he was not, the rightful son of Abraham. And in fact, he was not a Jew. All right. So the rich man also died and was buried. And in hell he lifted up his eyes, being in torment, and seeth Abraham afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom. And he cried, saying, Father Abraham, have mercy on me, and send Lazarus, that he may dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue. Who goes to hell? The picture of hell that we have with his tongue. And if someone in hell wants to drink water, why would they request for a single drop? So it is clear that the terms you are reading are not literal. The reason why the rich man is put in this parable in torment in fire, because what will destroy the rich in the context of the parable Jesus is speaking, which is the Jews, was going to be fire. Fire will destroy Jerusalem. All right? That was the meaning of the parable. Why did Jerusalem need to be destroyed? Do not forget that the law is called the law of carnal commandments. So the kingdom on ground now is the old carnal, physical Jerusalem. The kingdom Jesus would build is referred to as the new spiritual Jerusalem. And you begin to see the destination of the rich man and Lazarus. Lazarus was taken by angel into the bosom of Abraham. That's not a physical place. Whereas the rich man was buried physically. So in the parable, you discover that it's talking about the destruction of the old physical Jerusalem for the building of the new spiritual Jerusalem. And this is why this is one of the parables of the kingdom. He said he cried that he should send Lazarus and that he may dip his finger in water and cool his tongue, for I am tormented in this flame. And Abraham said, Son, remember that thou in thy lifetime received the good things, and likewise Lazarus evil things, and now he is comforted, and thou art tormented. And beside all this, between us and you there is a great gulf fixed, that they which would pass from hence to you cannot, neither can they pass to us that would come from thence. Then he said, I pray thee therefore, Father, that thou wouldest send him to my father's house. For I have 5 brethren, that he may testify unto them, lest they also come into this place of torment. 29 rather. And Abraham said unto him, they have Moses and the prophets. This statement alone should rattle your theology. In the days of Moses, Moses was the only prophet. Assuming it said they have Moses and the prophet, you would have suspected Aaron. But look at what he says here. He said they have Moses and the prophets. So he discovered that these were the entire, the term Moses and the prophets, the phrase Moses and the prophets, represented every messenger starting from Moses down unto Jesus. Okay? Jesus being the last prophet sent to the Jews. Alright? So he's not talking about a man, he's talking about the entire generation. The man is speaking to represents also the entire generation. If they cannot listen to all these messengers I will send, then nobody will come from yonder. And that kind of like talks to those who go to hell for a message for the church. God won't send anybody from yonder here. So I'm not saying you didn't have the dream you have. I didn't say you didn't have the apparitions you have. I didn't say you didn't have the experiences you have. But they are not real. They are apparitions. But that's not what I'm talking about today. Okay? And he said, Nay, Father Abraham, but if one went unto them from the dead, they will repent. And he said unto them, if they hear not Moses and the prophets, neither will they be persuaded, though one rise from the dead. This is just a brief of this parable. I will come with part 2 where we'll consider the parable in nitty-gritty. We'll consider every nitty-gritty part, every Greek word there, including the word torment and some other words, okay, so that we know exactly what it means. Okay, my name is Apostle Faith, and I say God bless you.